collecting the data, analyzing the data, reporting the data, conclusions, and recommendations. What is this problem and what is it worth studying? Teenagers, as we know, they search for meanings and a purpose in life. So I wanted to hear that story and how as a pastor, teacher can really have impact on the children of pastors. So their stories will be interesting to me as a Christian educator, also to other educators, church leaders, and their parents. It will help us better understand the perceptions, needs, and what is important to them. What questions they have, and how can we improve them? Personally, as a pastor's son, and also a member of various worship committees, responsible for planning programs, I was interested in knowing about their spiritual development. It was a qualitative case study design. I followed the cycle's 6 steps of his 7 steps of action research, and this helped me to focus and organize the study. Why did I use a case study? Because it is undertaking to provide a detailed description of a particular situation, organization, individual, or event. It is a discipline inquiry concerned with providing meaning by using inductive process. The particular situation of this phenomenon in this research has to do with pastors, teenagers, their spiritual development. So I obtained the data for the study by using interviews and conducting survey and literature review. I have already said that I used 6 steps, and selecting a focus. How did I get a topic? Clarifying the theories, which can also be classified as the literature review, identifying the research question, data collection, analyzing the data, and I'm about to report the findings. Now, I use a reflective interview to help me select the focus of this study. During this time, the researcher, according to Sacco, uses oral process by talking through his concern rather than writing about them. So I was encouraged to conduct further study following a systematic research procedure that I spent 1 year for this under the supervision of my supervisor. So what did I do? First, I spoke with pastors, teenagers. We gathered and we decided to talk. From the conversation, 7 of them from 7 different countries, they were interested. I said, oh, this could be the good topics, something to do research about. At that time, I was staying in the seminary. I spoke with one of the seminary professors. He said, yes, you can present it at your ACTA forum. Yes, that would be something good. Then third, I presented here, and there was some suggestion. Yes, you can do this, you can do that. So somebody encouraged me to write my dissertation on this topic, that it is very, very important. But I'm writing something else now. Clarifying theories involves identifying the concepts important to the study. So I brainstormed and I identified the following, which were the literature review you might call. Spirituality is something that is very big. There is Islamic spirituality, there is Hindu spirituality, there are all kinds of spirituality. So I begin to narrow the topic down to Christian spirituality. Still Christian spirituality, there are still many as I read. And faith development is also part of Christian spirituality. Then I decided to narrow it down to faith development in children and also pastors' children. So the paper is already completed. So these are things that when you read, if it's published, when you read my literature, in the published session, you will get. So these were topics that I used to conduct my literature review. Now the research method or the questions. Case study researchers often study current real-life cases that are in progress so that they can gather accurate information not lost by time, according to Pressware 2030. So this study focused only on one case, pastors' children. Now I chose faith-based institution is for ethical reason. I cannot call the real name of the university, but it's an actual research that was done. So 3 research questions were used. Number 1, what is faith development? Question number 2, I wanted to know, how do pastors, teenagers between the age of 13 to 19 years describe their faith development journey? Finally, question number 3, what is faith development in pastors, teenagers? Using the faith development instrument of Happen, Nietzsche, and Bottoms. This was, I got permission from them to revise their instrument. So, how did I collect the data? First, I obtained approval from the Ethics Research Board of my institution. Second, if this was a purposive sampling, which the researcher can decide to choose who will be important for his study in qualitative research is allowed. So there are 31 pastor teenagers that responded to the survey. I interviewed 17 agents after the survey. So how did I analyze the data? I used an inductive method of analyzing Hilda-Taba's 3 phases of concept formation. The concept formulation, interpretation of the data, and application of the principles. I explained that in my paper. So how did I analyze the data? The survey that I used contained 4 parts. The first part was about faith in God's word. Questions were addressed about faith in God's word. The second part was on their faith relationship with God. The third part was on the faithful daily living. So questions were addressed to that. And the fourth part was on their faith relationship with other people. How do they relate with other people? So for each part, the participants were required to respond to the statements that best describe them by choosing from a scale of 1 to 5. This is very true of me as a pastor's child. This is somewhat true of me. This is neutral, somewhat untrue of me, and very untrue of me. So in analyzing the data, I was able to just come down to the 2 out of these 5 as true of me and untrue of me. So that is also explained in my paper, but I'm interested in the interview, the analysis of the interview. If you want to read about the analysis of the survey, I have the detailed description in my paper, but I will talk just about the result in the findings, in the conclusion. Now, questions for the data analysis of the interview. First question was, when I was interviewing the 7 pastors, teenagers, the first question was, tell me about your spiritual journey. What has helped you to grow in your spiritual life? Now, this is what, from my analysis, 7 out of the 7 pastors, teenagers that were interviewed said they like the family and the environment they found themselves. It has helped them to grow spiritually. Question number 2 was, as a pastor's child, what do you like most about being a pastor's child? 6 out of the 7 participants said they like traveling with their parents when they are preaching, and they like involvement in their parents' ministry, and it is nice to help people around, and it's also good to visit and to give to the needy. So as a pastor's child, I love traveling. I like missionary work. This is what the participant, the respondent one said to that question. Another question I asked was, what do you like least about being a pastor's child? Now listen to this. 7 out of 7 participants said the high expectation from others. So this I quote directly from the respondent number 6. He said, in a Christian environment, they think you are a good model because you are the pastor's child, so you are good. They think that every pastor's child is a good role model, so I do not like that. Everybody expects you to do what is right, like never to be on the wrong. Question number 4, what spiritual or religious activities have you been involved in at home, school, and church? Which ones of them help you most, least grow spiritually? 7 out of the 7 participants said they are involved in the worship at home. 6 out of the 7 said they are involved in worship, Sabbath school, youth ministry, and singing at church. Question number 5. Is there anything else you would like to add about your spiritual growth? 4 out of the 7 participants said being a pastor's child is a great opportunity. For example, the 4th participant said being a pastor's child is one of the greatest opportunities one can ever have. Being there is not about what people say, it is about what God says. It is about how we help. We need to help people. Similarly, the 2nd participant said, I enjoy the opportunity and take advantage of it. Not everyone has the opportunity to be a pastor's child. This I said directly. Now, this is the result. I used the literature review to answer the first research question, which has to say, what is faith development? From the literature, I discovered that faith development means different things to different people, and I talk a lot about it in my paper. The second research question was, what is faith development in pastors teenagers 13 to 19? This was answered using a rewarded faith development instrument, that is the survey. So from the survey, the analysis from the survey that was used, it was revealed that pastors teenagers at that university score higher in their faith development in God's word. Yes, they know the theory, they know exactly, but and their faith relationship with God, they know about their faith relationship, but then they did in their relationship with other people. So there is a challenge how they relate with other people and their faith for daily living. So this means to me personally that they strongly believe in God's word, but it is not as easy for them to put into practice. The third research question, how do pastors teenagers describe their faith development journey? It was answered using the semi-structured interview, which I just shared with the 5 questions. So 5 themes came out of my research. High expectation and peer pressure, pastors teenagers. The literature also confirmed this, that they are stereotyped. People expect them to be either rebels or good scenes from heaven. Faith and environment, they like the environment they find themselves. Participation in worship, most of them are forced to participate in worship because their father is doing it, and the people expect them to play the piano for Sabbath school, to teach Sabbath school, to do many things because they are pastors' children. They like the privileges of being a pastor. Teenagers, some say, okay, my mother told me that because we should be grateful to the church because we are here, the church is paying our school fees. So they like the privilege of being a pastor's teenagers. Now, what's the conclusion and recommendation from my study? As a Christian educator and being involved in various worship committees, the findings from this research have shaped my mind towards involving young people in midweek prayer meetings, Vesper, and other related church activities. Upon the completion of my studies here at IAS, the finding of this research will be useful to me in the classroom as well. I will be able to put into practice the following 6 recommendations. 1, first, to respond to the concerns of the pastors' teenagers about peer pressure, practicing their faith, and being conversant with church doctrines. I will employ various teaching structures and strategies in all of my teachings, either at home, at school, at church, or wherever I'm given the opportunity to present to young people. To also tackle the disconnect between what the teenagers know and what really they do, they practice daily as pastors. As a pastor teacher, I will have teenagers share examples of empathy in class, and even in church. I will share examples of how young people show empathy. I will have discussion with young people concerning the importance of empathy, because this is a critical skill that needs to be addressed systematically with the help of the home, the school, and the church. As a member of various worship committee, when planning creative worship programs, I will include some of these young people in the worship programs. I will also involve some of these young people on my subcommittee. Third, the literature confirmed that pastors' teenagers are stereotyped. To address this problem, in my sermons and discussions, I will inform church members, teachers, and others about the need to consider pastors' teenagers as any normal teenagers in a transitional stage of life. Pastors' teenagers should not be seen as perfect saints or rebels. Fourth, as a pastor training to become a Christian educator, I would suggest parents continue to encourage and involve their teenagers in their ministry because they like it. By doing this, parents will spend more time with their teenagers. Fifth, there are many Bible versions, preferable Bible versions for their age and level should be brought for young people. We live in a digital era. Listening to the audio version of the Bible and any white books is recommended. Sixth, to respond to Dr. V. Master's desire for an instrument to use to better understand the spiritual development of young people, this instrument that I used to adapt for the study could also be used to help teenagers understand their own spirituality, because it's not easy to measure spirituality, as well as in aggregate to help schools and churches understand the spiritual issues faced by teenagers they serve. I suggest the use of the adapted instrument I used in this study. Thank you.